energies. The spiritual energy is not the same as material energy. Then turn off your cell phones if you have them, please. The spiritual energy is not the same as material energy. For example, the lights in this room are functioning by material energy. When steam comes up from your pot, when you're heating a pot of water, that's material energy. Electricity is material energy. Water power is material energy. This is material energy which comes from this matter. But spiritual energy comes directly from Krishna, from the Lord. So we often refer to that energy as being, does anybody know, it starts with a T. What kind of energy is that? It's called transcendental energy. So transcendental energy means it is above and beyond this material universe, and it functions in a different way. For example, the electricity will give you light, and the steam will give you steam, and gas energy will give you the gas that will enable your car to run, and so forth. So these are different kinds of energy. But spiritual energy will put you in, is the energy being emanated or manifested from Krishna, and that energy, when it strikes your soul, it awakens the soul or stimulates the soul, which already has this energy, spiritual energy. It is made of spiritual energy. Only thing is, the soul is not manifesting spiritual energy. It's not manifesting it because the soul is covered in darkness or ignorance. When it entered into this material world, it became covered with darkness. When I said entered into this material world, it means that it originally was in a different world called the spiritual world, the eternal world, the world in which Krishna resides and abides. We were all once in that spiritual world, believe it or not. And we were all transcendental, peaceful, blissful, knowledgeable. We served Krishna, we loved Krishna, we adored Krishna, but we all had independence, just as we have independence now. Your independence brought you here. Your independence will take you to your home. Your independence will get you to, you can read a book, or with independence you can read some other book, or read no books. So, just as Krishna is infinitely independent, we are minutely independent. We are living entities, the soul. Krishna is infinite in his power. So, therefore, we were all serving Krishna in the spiritual world. The spiritual world has no other purpose than to render service to the Lord, to please the Lord, to love the Lord, honor the Lord, in whatever way or whatever we're doing. So that's the business of the spiritual world. They sing to the Lord, they draw pictures of the Lord, they write poetry to the Lord. Everyone is serving Krishna. But what if you don't want to serve Krishna? You have independence. When a person desires to understand what it feels like to be a lord, what does it feel like to be a commander? What does it feel like to be a dominator or predominator? What does it feel like to order rather than merely to serve? What is the feeling? It's not the same. A servant has one type of feeling. A leader or a dominator or someone who orders has a different type of feeling. So if you become curious enough, and that curiosity captures you, gets the best of you, and you no longer want to serve Krishna, but rather want to be served as a Krishna. You want to be Krishna. You want to be a Lord. You want to be revered. You want to be honored. You want to be applauded. You want to be admired. If you want those things, Krishna says, you don't belong in my world anymore. You belong in a different world which I prepared for you, where you can dominate, you can predominate, you can order, you can you can become a boss. You can do all of that, but not in my world, because I'm the leader here. You're the servant. And when you serve me with love, I fill your heart with bliss. And that bliss fills you and inspires you to serve me more. So it's reciprocal. It's not that Krishna is really taking from you your love, but he's returning that same love. And when he returns it many-fold. The result of which is that you feel blissful and peaceful and strong and fulfilled. However, independence is there and curiosity is there. And if you want to know what it's like to be a Lord, and it becomes you can close the door, please. We're hearing all the sound from outside. Thank you. If you want to feel what it's like to be a Lord, then Krishna sent us down to this world so that each and every one of us can experience what it's like to be a dominator or to be a leader. For example, some of you are fathers and mothers, so you're leading. You lead your children. Do this, do that, go here, go there. Don't do that. Don't cross the street like this. And you're a leader. You're the order. And the child is your helpless little servant, so to speak. When he gets older, he starts ordering you around. Unfortunately. But he also has the same desire to want to be a boss. So children want to be a boss. And we all know how when the child wants some candy, or the child wants something to drink, and if you say, well, not now, because I want you to have your breakfast or your dinner first, then I'll give you, but the child is insistent, no, I want now, and he pulls a temper tantrum. Sometimes they do that in the supermarkets, and they scream and they yell and they jump up and down, and the mother is embarrassed. Everybody looks at the mother and thinks there's a problem of child abuse. The child is screaming so loudly with his high-pitched voice, and if it's a girl, it's even higher pitched. So, therefore, to pacify the child, she may get him a little Hershey bar or a Snicker bar or whatever he can, just to keep him quiet. So, the child can dominate the mother and the father at times. But we're not the only one. And then as you grow up, you close the door, please. Thank you. As we grow up, what happens is that we go to school. You may go to college. You may go to postgraduate. You may learn a trade. You may come to a position as being a foreman. You may be a supervisor. You may be a vice president, treasurer, secretary, president, or CEO, CFO, chief executive officer, chief financial officer, and you're in a position of dominance. You make policies, or you may be a senator, you may be a congressman, you may become a president. You make policies, and people follow those policies. And so you feel what it's like to be a leader. But it doesn't end there. There's quite a number of miseries which go with leadership. You have people who are against you, people who envy you, people who hate you, people who want to kill you. Like we have assassinations. Indira Gandhi, she was assassinated. Mahatma Gandhi, he was assassinated. President Lincoln in this country, he was assassinated. Attempts were made of assassination on our President Reagan, on Gerald Ford. It's not just peaches and cream. It's not just ice cream. It has a lot of troubles and difficulties and trials and tribulations. It's full of fears. So you get the opportunity to be a dominator, to be a controller, but you also get the miseries which go with it. So, as I was just mentioning, controllership does not end with the human form of life. For example, you have a dog. How many of us have dogs? Anybody have a dog here? You have a dog, okay. Well, I don't have to tell you. When another dog gets near your yard, or gets near your house, what does your dog do? He barks like anything. Unless he knows the dog and is on friendly terms. Otherwise, it's get off my turf. Dog is very proprietary. This is my place, and don't you get near here. If you do, I'm going to fight with you. So this is dog mentality. Sometimes we human beings have the same mentality. Somebody gets too close to your house, or somebody leans against your car, and you what is that person leaning against my car? Once I had that experience, I leaned against somebody's big Cadillac. So the person came up to me and says, "You're leaning on my car." I said, "Well, I was just trying to polish it for you, so that to save you a few minutes of the polishing. But if you insist, polishing? I don't need you to polish my car." "Oh, excuse me, I'm very sorry about that. I was just trying to do an act of charity. Excuse me." So, it is. It's a true story. Your dog barks. He sees the cat, he barks at the cat sees the rat, the cat goes after the rat, and the rat runs away. And then the rat, the mouse runs after the cockroach, and the cockroach runs after the ants, and the ants are running after the mice. Everybody gets a chance to be Lord of the day. This is how Krishna set it up. Even the bacteria. Some bacteria are eating other bacteria. Everyone gets a chance to be God for a day. And then you move up to a different position. You may be a rat in this lifetime. The next lifetime, you may get a chance to be the cat. And you get a chance to boss the rat or the mouse. And then you get the chance to be a dog. And then you may have a human bird. And so on. The point is that when you are the dog and you're being chased by the dog catcher because you're out on the street, it's not very pleasant. And when they put you in the pound with all the dogs yelping and talking, and you can't even get a moment to sleep, it's not a pleasure. The point I'm trying to bring out here is if you become a controller, you become a dominator, you become an important person, it is fraught with misery, with difficulty, with tribulation, with problems, and often with uncertainty, conflict, and doubt, and suffering. Anybody like to suffer? Nobody likes to suffer. But you can't avoid it when you come to the material world. So the question arises, why would Krishna, this question comes up all the time, why would Krishna cause us or enable us to suffer? Some of you in the back can come to the front. We have people coming in now, and they can't sit down because the back is taken up, and we have all this room in the front. So please rest assured, I will not bite you like the dogs I just described. I guarantee it, and if I do, you can get your insurance company on me. Good, thank you very much. Now we have to make someone. If people can pay their obeisances to Srila Prabhupada by doing that. We still have more room here. Come up a little bit closer. Yeah, come, don't be afraid. And as I said, I'm harmless. I guarantee it, please. Come on back, come a little closer. Your children are all very beautiful. I want to look at their sparkling faces. Thank you so much. Great, good. Okay, so therefore, that question comes up. Why did Krishna create all this suffering? You know why? Because when you suffer, you begin to ask that very question. And you know what it does? It leads you to books like this, in which Krishna gives the answer, or persons like myself, and Krishna gives the answer. You left the spiritual or eternal world to imitate me. I'm the predominator, I'm the controller, I'm the friend of all, I'm the enjoyer. But you wanted to imitate me, and as a result, you have to get a mixture of both. You can't be me, all and complete and unalloyed. Your real position is to be a servant. That is our nature. That is the dharma of every living entity. Dharma means what our original duty is. Dharma means duty. It's one of the meanings. So, dharma means what is our duty. Now, some of us may be police officers, some of us may be lawyers. In each of our professions, teachers, in each of our professions, we have certain etiquette, we have certain rules, we have certain regulations. We call that dharma. But dharma on a higher level means, what is the human being supposed to do? It is called Sanatana Dharma, the eternal Dharma, what you're always supposed to do. And what we're always supposed to do is to serve Krishna. That is our nature. But if we resist our nature, we suffer. For example, a fish that is curious about what it's like to be out of the water, and it jumps up and it gets on the land, it starts to flip-flop, 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 and it's very much in pain, and it wants to get back into the water because its nature is to be a creature, an aquatic of the water. That is its nature. Our nature is to be a servant of the Lord. When you are serving Krishna in whatever action it may be, whether you are a servant in this world, maybe you are a sanitation collector, or maybe you are a builder, or whether you are a farmer, or a banker, or a salesperson, or whether you are an administrator, or a warrior, or whether you are a Brahmin, a priest, or a teacher, whatever you do, Krishna says, do it for who? Yes, do it for Krishna. Do it for me, he says. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu or Krishna must be performed. Therefore, perform your prescribed duty. Perform your prescribed duty for me. And if you do this, you will be free from the bondage of material action. Now, what do I mean by the bondage? We perform different activities. We then become identified. We identify ourselves with certain activities. For example, I'm a police officer, or I'm a writer, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a computer engineer, or I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. And then we identify with this. People praise us for our work, or applaud us for our work, pay us money for our work, respect us for our work, and the result of all that is that we feel very proud. We feel good about ourselves. We think we're wonderful, and we become attached to that particular identity because we want to enjoy. That's why we came down to this world. Krishna is an enjoyer. Krishna is a proprietor. Krishna is the friend of all. So we're trying to imitate Krishna by being the same. So when you have money, you have position, you have fame, then you can have plenty of pleasure in this world. You can buy all kinds of foods that bring lots of pleasure. You can get pleasure for your ears, get the best music, get pleasure for your nose, get new wonderful sweet-smelling roses. You can have your own rose garden. You can have nice pleasure for your skin. You can put nice silk on your skin, put velvet on your skin, or you can be fanned nicely, or you can tickle your skin, whatever, but you can enjoy in that way. Unless you get dermatitis. Then you start scratching, and you get some satisfaction, and you have a few moments of peace, and then the itch starts up again, even worse. And you're scratching until blood is coming. That is the nature. First you're satisfied with the itch is coming, you scratch it, now I'm pleased, and then it comes back, and now I'm less pleased, then you're satisfied, and again it comes back, and then finally you have to go out and buy some salve, that non-itch stuff that they sell in Rite Aid or wherever, so that you can push it on your skin, but you don't have to feel that. So all these pleasures that I just gave you, of your skin, your ears, your nose, your tongue, they all give displeasure too. The more pleasure you put into your body, the more it will be counterbalanced with displeasure. For example, some of the kids, they go to these rock concerts. Now, if you've ever been to a rock concert, probably many of you have not, but some of you have. I remember I used to distribute books, and the rock concerts at Dodger Stadium, and the Bee Gees were there. Have you ever heard of them? Some of you, many of you. Well, they had those speakers so loud that I couldn't stand to be there for more than 10, 15 minutes. I could hardly hear myself talk to somebody. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. I've got this wonderful book. What do you say? I've got this book. I like that. What do you say? Yeah, they couldn't hear me. They didn't understand me because the volume of the sound was ear-splitting, literally. So these kids, they go to rock concert after rock concert, and what happens is they begin to lose their hearing. So they're having all this pleasure, which results in what? I have a friend, he just lives right next door to me. He has to wear a hearing aid because he was a groupie. He followed the groups, and he's lost his hearing. So you have to have a hearing aid now. So with every pleasure will come a pain. But with spiritual pleasure, you will not only not get pain, but you will get more inner pleasure. Now, where do you get this pleasure? You get this pleasure right in your heart. And it extends throughout the mind, throughout your physical body. You may have chills, you may tremble. These are some of the symptoms of ecstasy, which come, as is mentioned in this purport, which come from taking shelter of the dust of Krishna's lotus feet. Krishna is taking the dust of his devotees' feet because it is not material. It's matter, but it is impregnated. It is completely pervaded by spiritual energy. And that spiritual energy, when you put it on your face, when you put it on your body, it helps to decrease the darkness of ignorance that surrounds the soul. And so, if you walk into a room and it's completely dark, you don't know where to go, what to do. You bump into things. And that's what material life is. It's a question of bumping into this, that, and the other thing, and getting a lot of bumps as a result. So, but when the light is turned on, you can see where to go. Go here, go there, don't go here, don't go there. So Krishna is saying that if you take shelter of me, and those of you who are worshiping deities are doing that. Those of you who are chanting Hare Krishna, let's all do it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Can you do it again for me? It sounded so delicious. I want to hear it, but double the sound.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
I cannot thank you enough for that, because that's the kind of sound I want to go deaf on. Yes, because the more I hear it, the more I'm filled with the impression and the presence of Krishna. The more pure we become, the more we come to understand that Krishna is not different